Hey, good morning. Well, it may not be good morning for you, but it is good morning for me. So, good afternoon, good evening. I am so excited to be with you here today on May Day. What a beautiful day to be together and be in creativity and be in sacred space with one another. So how are you feeling today on this May Day? Hop over in the chat if you're here live and let me know how you doing. Oh, I see you being here and being early, Amy. I love it. Hey, Jen, feeling rested and ready. Good morning, Taliesin. I am just so excited. I really am. I feel lit up and ready to dive into clarity. Hey, Jane, I'm so glad you made it today. So awesome to see you. I mean, I can't see any of you, which is a total bummer, but I see you in the chat. Taliesin feeling grounded and ready. Hey, Jean. Oh my God, that is officially the best emoji I've ever seen. I'm a little jealous because I'm like, how do I access that emoji? Hey, Camille. Hey, Roberta. I had my page open. This is a page I did in my Red Thread Circle, and I thought it was more exciting than for you to arrive to a blank page. Oh, I love it. You know, I've got so much light on me, and I swear my screen is so much darker than I would like. But let's see. I'm going to see if I can get. Oh, ho, ho, ho. This will just have to do. This will have to work. Let's see. Boo, 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 boo. All right. Oh, I like that I adjusted it and then I hit it. Let's see. Camille, you recognize the page? Yes. Amy, you said something shifted in me being early. Yes, I love it. I love it, my friend. You're embodying all of these new ways of being, and I love witnessing it. Hey, Chris. So happy you're here, my friend. You say May Day has always been my day and my month because my maiden name is pronounced the same. Yes. I love it. I'm so happy you're here too. A blank page isn't a bad thing. That is correct. We got to start somewhere. So, we're going to explore the theme of clarity. I think I would love to hear in the chat box, just doesn't have to be a super in depth definition by no means, but like what comes up for you in your heart, in your mind, when you think of the word clarity? What is associated with clarity for you? Pop that in the chat. For me, I think about the word truth comes up. Like clarity feels like truth. It's not an illusion. There's no cloudiness. There's nothing blocking clarity. It's clear. It is the truth of what we're experiencing. That's what comes up for me. So I'm interested to hear what comes up for you when you think of the word clarity. Let's see. Jean, you said open pathway to truth. Yes, I am feeling that. Taliesin, easily distracted. Oh, that's interesting. Jane, expansion. Camille, to know where you're going. Clear and centered. Amy, you say clear and centered. Let's see, Jen, clarity is coming out of the haze into the light. Ooh, that's a beautiful way to step into it. Oh, Chris, clarity equals purpose. Oh, I love all of your clarity connections. Roberta, you say, I think clear understanding of the path or steps ahead or of a click inside of me knowing myself or others. Yes, that's beautiful. Taliesin, you said, interesting. I've been conditioned to doubt my truth. Yes, that is the reality for many, many folks, I feel. Oh, hey, I see you, friend. You said Yes, I need it. Clarity. Yes. Come on in, Justina. It's just painful, but clarity means moving on. Yes, sometimes the clarity we receive most definitely ignites change or shifting or transition, which is so interesting. That's basically the email that I sent yesterday was all about transition. Like, how do we show up when things are changing and we can feel things shifting and it can be scary? But how do we lean into trusting that change? So it's kind of cool how clarity and that are going hand in hand. All right. Well, let's get to it. Let's get to it. I'd love for you to open up your Cosmic Smash book to a blank page or a piece of paper. You never need anything particular to do this amazing process. Whatever you have on hand is enough, is enough. Oh, thank you, Camille. That means so much to me that you enjoyed the email. I really appreciate that. I do try to ground and go, what would be of value to someone else that I am experiencing that I could share? So I'm really like, yeah, following my heart and intuition when I'm sending emails. And, it's always interesting to see how they land for other people. So I really do appreciate the feedback. It's really supportive. Oh, Amy, I hear you with the allergies. Me too, friend. All right, so let's get something to write with. And I've got a few prompts, 2 or 3 journal prompts just to get the juices flowing. You know I love my journal prompts. So the first one is, let me stretch over here and type in the chat box what the first one is. So it is, what does clarity look like and feel like for you? So we kind of touched on the meaning, but what does it feel like when you're experiencing clarity? What does it feel like? Okay, we're just going to let's spend maybe like 3 minutes here because we kind of have a 2-parter in this journal prompt. So let's do 3 minutes, I apologize. What does clarity look and feel like for you? All right, finish up wherever you're at. Yeah, what came up for me, I was thinking about what you said, Justina, in the chat. Like, I normally think of clarity as this really energizing feeling, and also it can be the truth of what I didn't want to know or see or feel. And so, yeah, clarity can definitely hold both of those energies for sure. Amy, you said, see where I'm going and how I'll get there. Yeah, even if it's just another step, right? Clarity doesn't always mean for me that the journey unfolds and unveils itself, but at least I know the next step. All right. Let me type in the next the next journal prompt. I'm doing this one-handed, so hold on. Never mind. I'm just going to stretch out over my page. You can look at my coffee cup and donut tattoo. Oh. All right, let's see. Next journal prompt. When do you feel most clear and focused in your life? When do you feel most clear and focused in your life? Let's spend 2 or 3 minutes here. Take another minute and then we'll wrap up. All right. Finish up whatever you're working on. Amy, I see when you've accomplished something big that you set out to do, that supports your clarity and focus. I love that. Did anything come up for any of you that might have been surprising, or, something that it's like, oh, I get to remember this? Like, share it in the chat. I feel like for me is that I'm learning to find the good enough. I'm learning to be flexible, and that I can be in that feel good focus space and not need to know all the things. And that was not always my truth. I used to be someone who needed to know all the things, and I'm more in a trusting place of understanding the creative process and my process. And so I think what's sticking out for me is my growth, that I now can find the good enough spot, and that feels really good. Let's see. Hey, Jan. Love seeing you in the chat. You said, when I slow down enough and carve out time for deep listening to spirit. Yes. My clarity and focus are most definitely connected to quiet, away from the noise. Let's see. Camille, gut feeling from the inside. Yes. Yes. Listening to ourselves is so powerful. Jean, when I receive answers to questions I've asked and awake to new ideas. That's good. Chris, wow, what really came up for me with that prompt was when I'm supporting my well-being from mental to spiritual to physical health is when I feel the most clear and focused. Right? Yes. Like if most of you, I don't know everyone who's here unless you're in the chat box, but most of you know me enough, whether through that's my emails or podcast or working with me, that I've been on a huge sacred living, well-being, wellness journey. And oh my gosh, does it shift everything when you take care of yourself in all the ways. And it's not easy for a lot of us who have not always showed up in that way. So thank you for speaking into that, Chris. That's potent. Roberta, I see how the big, slow struggle right before clarity hits has a purpose. Yes. Sometimes for me, it's like that walking through mud or molasses feeling. It's like I'm almost there, but not quite. And then it's like, boom, it lands. Jan, you said, or the muses or my inner guidance. Yes. I like this theme in the chat box of listening to ourselves. Beautiful. Roberta, like an athlete who trains with extra weight, then once the weight is removed by clarity, I am stronger. Oh, that's great. Yes. Taliesin, to put myself first and not abandon myself or my truth for others. Yes. Love it. Jan, when I'm willing to ask powerful questions. Yes. Yes. Holding ourselves high to me is having that willingness. All right. So we got some potent stuff happening. Per usual. I love it. I love it. So what I would love to do is think about, my next question is more for you to create your inquiry. Not necessarily to journal around, but hey, you do what comes up for you. So my question is, what area of your life do you most desire clarity in right now? Because that is the inquiry that I would love to take to our page today, is what area in your life do you most desire clarity in right now? And I know there might be multiple areas, but really inviting you, I think the messaging and the clarity that will come through will, I think, be smoother to decipher if you have a specific area, instead of trying to get clarity in all the areas of your life. It's like one page at a time, friend. So that's my invitation, is just to sit for a moment, ground, and decide what area in your life you would like the most clarity in right now. If you want to share it, please feel free so that we could witness you. And then we're going to create our inquiry based on that. So I'm going to stop talking for a moment so that I can ground and decide what that looks like for me. Okay, it's amazing when I get quiet what comes through. All right, so for me, I'm gonna say that I would like clarity. I feel like, which is why yesterday's email was about transition. I feel like I am in a transition in my life and things are shifting. And so I feel like my vision of the life that I'm creating for myself is shifting. And so I think a vision is something that's fluid. And as we change, our vision might change of what we want to create. And I think it's a really healthy habit to be connected to our life's vision. If you're somebody who makes vision boards or sets specific goals for yourself, check in with them, because as we change, they're going to change. And so for me, I am looking at clarity in the vision that I'm currently creating for myself. So I am going to use a different marker. Purple, 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 all up in purple these days. So how can I create clarity in my current life's, maybe I didn't need that, vision, but that feels good enough. Remember, I said it was going to be good enough. I'm all like being the grammar police. I get to let that go. Okay, so my inquiry is, how can I create clarity in my current life's vision? So I would love for you to write your clarity over your stuff. And then if you want to share it, feel free. If you want to keep it private, I totally honor that always. I'm just reading the chat. Jan, you said yesterday I got clarity by showing up for a coaching session. Yep. I'm a big fan of coaching sessions. Amy, you said, where do I go after I finish my first book? Ooh, that's good. That's good. I like that. Okay. And when you're set on your inquiry and you've got it written down, I'm just going to add some prayers, some affirmations, whatever language you put is wonderful. I'm going to say, open me, love me, guide me, speak clearly to me. Ooh, I've never written that one before. Speak clearly to me. Wow, that felt good. Okay. Guide me. Oh, this one just came through. Be patient with me. Oh, I love this. You know I'm in process when I'm oohing and awing over here. I hope you're doing your own oohing and awing over there. Let's see. Yes, I know that, Taliesin. I can't think of purple without thinking about Josiah. That is truth. Genji, you said, how can I create clarity in my spiritual life? Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got our inquiry. We're doing our prayers, our affirmations on top, which is just inviting in, like, for me, the prayer and affirmation is like, what do I need to get there to open up? You know, I need the guidance. I need, you know, my inner knowing or spirit to speak clearly to me, open me, guide me, love me. That's what I need. All right, I'm going to move my card for the day. And now I am going to add some color. I'm just going to intuitively go. No shocker, I picked purple. I'm telling you, purple. But purple is my favorite color, but I just feel like it's coming up strong. Super strong. I love that, Amy. I feel like purple is like my creativity color too. It's my magical color. Ooh, Taliesin, yes. How can I create clarity around the custody battle I'm in? Yes. And so we're just moving the energy around. Putting color here is not about covering anything up. It's about moving this energy that we just placed on the paper. Just moving it. And I got to remind myself not to get too wet with my watercolor, because sometimes I go bananas. I get all into it and then I forget that I'm going to put things on top. Calm down with the watercolor. Maybe I need one of you in the chat box to go, calm down with the water, Sage. I'm just kidding. Stay in your process. I'm fine. Yes, Chris, purple is the color of royalty, which was my word of the year 2 years ago. Such an interesting word that came up. All right, so I'm going to let this dry. And we're going to have, normally, this is where I invite you in to do some collage work, go through magazines, really staying connected to your inquiry and looking at images and words kind of with that lens of your inquiry, not necessarily of what you think like you just like, like, oh, that's a beautiful picture. Like really have your inner knowing pick the things, stay intuitive with that. We're also going to do another step, but what I will say is if you've got some magazines that you're working with, if you're going to do collage, I would love for you to challenge yourself to find some images with eyes. Find some images with eyes. If you don't have magazines or you can't find any eyes in what you have, you can simply draw them into your page. Is that clear? Let me know if that sounds clear in the chat box. So we're doing the usual searching in our magazines, but I really invite you to find some eyes. And they could be any kind of eyes. Cartoony eyes, human eyes, animal eyes, it doesn't matter. Ooh, turned around my magazine. That was the first thing I saw. Ooh. Yes, awesome. Thank you, friends. I just want to make sure I'm making sense over here. All right. So sometimes Shiny Object Sage has to pause and go back to her inquiry and read it and ground in. My current life's vision. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. This is what the process looks like for some. And if you ever have any inquiries or you want to share anything, please feel free to do that while we're all working. Camille, that's an awesome question. I actually never talk about that because I am always working in my Smashbook where all my pages are already crunched up. So thank you for speaking into that because some of you may not be working in a Cosmic Smashbook. So typically, if you wanted to do the crunching part, I would do that maybe perhaps before we start. But honestly, there's no wrong way. If you wanted to crunch your paper right now and wake it up, you totally can. Totally can. Great question. Thank you. Awesome. I see you over there, or I'm witnessing you over there drawing the eyes. You're welcome, my friend. right, finally found some eyes. And it doesn't matter what direction the eyes are looking in at all. I'd say have at least 2 or 3 eyes, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a pair of eyes. It's just like I just opened up and I found all these masks with animals and they've got eyes. Like it doesn't matter if it's one eye, both eyes, but I would at least have 2 or 3 eyes, like different images. Oh, and I don't want to make an assumption, so I want to be clear because we're doing a clarity page. Open eyes, open eyes. All right, I'm going to play around. Yes, I do get clarity when I declutter too and organize. All right, and when you feel like you got enough, you can start playing around and see how they want to land on your page. Jean, I'm laughing at your comments. All the eyes I'm drawn to are semi-open. That figures. I know. I'm laughing because the first magazine I went through, there was like this illusion of eyes, but it was just like color. It wasn't clear at all. And I was like, okay, what is this trying to tell me? Oh. Oh, it sounds like a motor's running where I am. Oh, that's interesting. I have a heater on in the background. Is it distracting? Too loud? I apologize. Oh, wow. This is a wild picture. Her eye is the wave. Wow. Right. I found this piece of a poem by Julia Cameron called Remembering. And I'll read it because it feels so potent and beautiful. So this is just part of it. It's not the whole thing. It says, walk with me to the edge of the city. Take off your shoes and feel the earth. It is softer than a woman. It is safer than your father. It is water. It is air. It is where you are returning with this yearning you can't name. Cast off your shame. It is an old coat. Remember who you are. You are a star, a mountain, that fountain in the sun. Your heart is the velvet cave where birds sing. Are you remembering? My gosh, that's going on a page. And then this little part that accidentally stayed says, you do know how. Can't make this shit up. Okay. I am feeling like I might be ready to do some gluing. So here we go. Taliesin, you said my prayer turned into an arch, which turned into a rainbow. My dad speaks to me through rainbows. I'm printing an enlarged photo of his face for my eyes. Reminds me to lean on my spirit guides. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. All right. Okay. And it's always good to have a little bit of something dangling over both pages. Just reminded. I love that, Taliesin. And again, just a reminder, because, y'all have been hanging out with me long enough. I'm always giving reminders. Just allow the eyes to go wherever your inner knowing is telling you. Don't try to dictate it because it looks better in a certain place. Just really allow them to fall where they fall. Surrender. Taliesin, I think that was the Breathe magazine. They're all themed differently. I think that one was the mental health themed one, but it's Breathe. The name of the poem was Remembering. Which is so perfect for me because I've got the sign behind me all the time that says, remember who you are. So I feel like that's a big old message in itself. Y'all know I love a typewriter. All right. Amy, you can remember when your dad got an electric typewriter. I love that. My great grandfather used to type. He owned his own sandblasting business, and he used to type like all of his invoices and on his typewriter. And when he passed away, I asked my aunt what she did with the typewriter, and she said, "Oh, that old thing, that was junk. I donated it." And my heart just broke in 5 bazillion pieces. So interesting. One person finds an object a treasure and another person considers it junk. But to have my great grandfather's typewriter, oh, that's gold to me. But I got memories of him click-clacking on it. All right, how are y'all doing over there? How are your pages coming along? I'd love a little update in the chitty chat box. Jean, oh my gosh, that's such a treasure find. You got a typewriter at a thrift store and someone had typed the history of the typewriter? What? Oh man, that would have made my whole day, my whole life. The history of the typewriter. Yes. Holy crap, that's so cool. No, my great grandfather was a sandblaster. He owned his own sandblasting company in New Jersey. And so I think he was just super old school. And, you know, this was way before computers. And so he was click clacking all his little invoices on his typewriter. All right. Well, this bird doesn't know where to go. Come on, bird. Right there? Okay. It's on his little journey. All right. Okay, so I just want to talk about that extra step I was telling y'all about once you get your eyes and your images and your words on the paper. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. Stay at your pace. You're fine. No rush. I'm just at that step, and so I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. So, what I would love for you to do when you feel like all of your pieces are where they get to be, you may want to circle it. You just want to do an invisible circle. I don't think I want to actually circle my image because, yeah, I don't. But if you want to, go ahead. What I'm inviting you to do is just look at the direction of the eyes. So note, what is the eye looking at? So this eye is going off the page. It's not even looking at anything on my page. And then I'm looking at this woman, and her gaze is going up here to these connected hands. And then the bird, he's kind of looking this way over at the poem and the typewriter because his gaze is kind of out and down, actually, not this way. And so I'm inviting you to allow that to help you go deeper with the messaging. Like, what is in this poem? What does this poem hold for me? Because there's something even deeper there. The bird is directing me that way. What's off the page? Like, this is interesting. Is this saying I get to think outside of the box? I get to be in the mystery of it? Like, what does this mean to me? And when she's witnessing this connection, this embrace, like, how does that fit into my inquiry? Does that make sense? This is just an opportunity for you to go even deeper with the messaging that's coming up, is actually going, what are they looking at? Is their gaze going? So I'm curious to what your eyes are checking out on your page. I would love if you popped it in the chat box. You don't have to know what it means, but where are your gazes going on your page? That to me is like where we get to super lean in. Ooh, Jane, that is beautiful. The eyes on my page feel they are about not only clarity, but also witnessing my expansion. That's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Jan, you said my clarity today was telling me to make this page later. Use this time to gain clarity by cleaning my space while I'm being inspired by everyone here. beautiful. I hear you listening to yourself. Amy, you said all the eyes are staring straight ahead into my soul. Okay, that's huge. That's big stuff. Wow. Really? Wow. So, Amy, it's like the eyes are directing you back to go within yourself. How beautiful is that? Taliesin, you said, I got my first electric typewriter when I graduated 6th grade. It was a request. I lost it when I moved to California to live with my dad and nothing but a suitcase and a backpack. Oh, RIP typewriter out in the world. Jan, so thank you. Too much clutter and confusion in the space. No worries, friend. I totally understand. It's hard for me to create when there's a lot of stuff. Like I have a ritual before I lead anything like this that I clean my desk. It's like I'm filling up my water and my paintbrush. Like I am preparing myself or else I can't be in the process. So I totally get it. Taliesin said, my dad's eyes will probably be in the blues of my rainbow as he had blue eyes. That's beautiful. Camille looking at me. Justina, mine too. So interesting. So many of you got the eyes looking at you. And for me, that's like directing you to listen to yourself. I mean, you pick up on whatever messaging, but I'm just saying when I think about the eyes looking at me, it's like this mirror, this reflection, this direction back to my inner knowing, which is exactly what came up on my page. You do know how. Like I already know. You already know, right? This is the messaging coming through to help guide us because sometimes shit gets in the way, things get cloudy and we don't have the clarity because there's noise around us, and the noise could look so many different ways in our lives. And yeah, so it's interesting how many of y'all are getting stuff directly back to you. You too, Jen. 2 of my 3 pair of eyes are looking right at me and 1 is looking up at a butterfly. Wow. So we have a theme kicking today of listen to yourself. Cut the noise and take time to be with yourself. Yes, here's looking at you, kid, right? Jean, mine are not looking at me. Me either, Jean. Me either. Mine are not looking at me either. Don't feel left out. Jen, you said, and then I have a ton of closed eyes too on my page. Yeah, that's interesting too. Yeah. So does anybody have any hits so far of like what's coming through? I know that we each have our own process of reading our pages, but I'm just curious, like have you received some kind of golden nugget? Because sometimes my messaging comes through as I'm in the process. It's, I'm hearing things of like, oh yeah. I'm seeing a lot of connection on my page, like the typewriter. Like I like typing letters and mailing them to people. And then once upon a time, so there's like this writing energy. And then there's the hand holding and the heart and also the cups that say best friends. So there's like this connection theme. And this, of course, this remembering of who I am. And so my inquiry, so remember, go back to your inquiry. What was your inquiry? My inquiry was, how do I receive clarity on my life's vision as it's looking now? This has a very like go back to basics vibe, going back to who I am. It's so interesting. I think I might put my page out today in the sunshine, let it pick up some sun energy. Jeannie said, witness spirit by going within and listening. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Jen, you said, trust intuition, wait for the signs, symbols to know you are on the right track, and then look for others to connect with. Yes, I love that. Going to yourself first. Juicy stuff. My gosh, this page. So if you're not finished yet, it's totally fine. You know me. I'm like, do it at your own pace. We all got our own process. I'm kind of deciding I might want to put some color here. I don't know. I'm going to let it sit. It told me to take a break. Let it sit. Jean, you said, thanks for taking us in a different direction. Yes. Yes. I was thinking about like, what could today look like? I always ground into like an idea, but then I'm like, you know what? The process is going to do what it does. Like I like to come to the page with an idea, but it's going to do what it's going to do. So Amy, you said these sessions do throw me at what comes through. Yes. And, you know, my understanding of this process is always been like this, all of this that comes through is already within us, right? That's the way I look at it. When I am receiving messages, I'm receiving messages from myself. That's again my whole approach and how I understand this process. And so it's an opportunity for me to get out of my own way and to listen. And, you know, a lot of times I laugh when I do the pages because it's sometimes the same messaging because I'm not listening, right? So the message keeps telling me like a repetitive thing. And I'm like, oh, no surprise here. And I don't want to let go of like the numbers 20 and 30 that showed up. So I might do some Googling on the meaning of 20 and 30 because I am that human. I'll do that. Taliesin, you said, my dad's face is cut into a heart, kind of resembles a guitar pick. He has a huge grin and happy, loving eyes looking at me. The photo was from a piece he sent me. Artist through and through. Yes, I love that. I feel his Leo vibes through you, Sage. Oh, I get to play and celebrate more. Yes, yes, we get to have fun, bring joy in our life. All right, my friends, we're getting to the top of the hour. So if you have completed and you feel like you want to come over to the Storytellers and Wild Creatives Facebook page and share your page and maybe any insight, I would love it. Maybe just put on top, like, this is my page from today's clarity session. I'd absolutely love it. That's the only thing I don't like about the YouTube lives is I can't see you and your page. I miss seeing you and your page. So I would love if you came to the Facebook group so that I could witness what you were creating on your end. I'm going to post mine as well. And if you're still working on it, like, honoring you for being in the process. And when you're complete, I'd love for you to come share. And before we go, I'm going to, let me open up my calendar and see what June looks like. I can't even believe we're talking about June, but here we are. So the first Wednesday in June is June 5th. So June 5th is when we'll be connecting for our next Cosmic Smash Booking Live. And I'm always doing my best to set y'all up for success and send out reminders in both my email newsletter and on the Facebook page. But if you're somebody like me who puts stuff in calendars, then June 5th, friends, at 9 a.m., meet me here. And I'm really grateful for you. Thank you for coming and smashing with me. And yeah, don't forget, sometimes, I don't know if you're like me, I could get lost in the imagery and I forget about my inquiry. So don't forget to keep your inquiry on your heart, write it down, and then go into the page and see what you can pull out that really supports your inquiry. Oh, you're welcome, Roberta. I have so much fun with y'all. I look forward to this call all month. Like, I really do. It's such a bucket filler for me. I love being in connection with all of you. I love doing this work with all of you. I think it's super powerful to be in community and sacred space. You know, and we do it any way we can, and virtually works. So thank you for being here with me, and come share your page if you wanna, and I'll see you around these parts on June 5th. How's that sound? Does that sound good? You can come back in June? All right, my friends, have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful May Day if you celebrate. Be sure to go outside and breathe in some nature and ground and be the most awesome you possible. All right. Love you lots. I'll see you soon.